This is the story of Farmer Pan, honest and hardworking, toiling on his small plot, grit and grain. Pan was known for his integrity, a trait constantly mocked by his greedy, shortcut-loving neighbor, Elis. Elis, with his big fields and bigger ego, thought Pan was a fool. But it was Pan's honest nature that led him to a lucky strike that day, a tarnished magic mirror unearthed from an old stone wall. When Pan looked in, the mirror shimmered, showing him a vision of golden crops and immense wealth. Just then, Elis screeched his tractor to a halt, saw the mirror's flash, and immediately knew it was no ordinary glass. As Elis's own face, already twisted by greed, was reflected in the glass, Pan realized two very different men now held the secret of the mirror, and the great test of integrity was about to begin. Pan took the magic mirror home, his heart pounding not with excitement, but with confusion. He needed a good harvest, but could this strange object truly help an honest man? When he consulted it, the mirror surface swirled, revealing a vision. It was Elis, sneaking onto Pan's land under the cover of darkness to siphon water. The mirror then whispered a plan. Go confront him. Demand triple the payment for the stolen water, and take his strongest cow as collateral. That is the fastest way to wealth. It even showed Pan a flash of golden coins as a reward. But Pan stared at his reflection, seeing not a greedy man, but a man conflicted. He wasn't rich, but he wasn't a thief either. Pan quietly went out, found Elis, and simply told him, I forgive your debt, Elis, but you must ask next time. Pan chose integrity over profit. The mirror's glow dimmed, the promised golden coins vanishing. The mirror had shown Pan a shortcut to material wealth, but Pan had taken a longer, harder, more honest path. Discouraged but not defeated by the mirror's previous temptation, Pan consulted it once more, truly asking for the secret path to a good harvest. The mirror's surface swirled into a detailed, split image. On one side, it revealed a quick-fix path, a hidden spring that would irrigate his fields instantly, but would drain the town's communal well, a selfish choice. On the other, the mirror showed a long, difficult path of ancient, painstaking farming techniques, crop rotations, natural pest control, and hand watering. The townspeople laughed, and Elis openly mocked him for working harder, not smarter. But Pan, looking at the image of the honest, painstaking labor, knew in his heart which path he must take. He chose the true path of patient, sustainable farming, ready to earn his harvest with the sweat of his brow and the wisdom of the earth, regardless of the ridicule. Pan toiled for weeks, ignoring the ridicule and putting the mirror's honest lessons to work. But as summer peaked, disaster struck. A terrible, prolonged drought descended upon the valley. Elis's large, chemically pumped crops, which had shallow roots from his quick-fix methods, withered and died immediately, turning his fields to cracked dust. Worse still, the communal well that served the entire town began to run dangerously low. But on Pan's small plot, the deep-rooted, naturally tended plants he had painstakingly cared for struggled, but held on. They were small, but they were alive. Pan's honest methods had yielded quality, not just quantity, proving that integrity provided a deeper resilience than greed ever could. Driven mad by the failure of his crops, and convinced the magic mirror was the only thing standing between him and ruin, Elis decided on a desperate act. He crept into Pan's small house in the dead of night, determined to steal the enchanted glass. Believing the mirror held some literal power to conjure water or gold, he snatched it up and immediately started screaming at the reflection. Save me! Elis cried, Show me how to save my farm, you cursed thing. He held the mirror close, his desperate face contorted with rage and fear, demanding the shortcut he believed he was owed. As Elis shrieked his demands at the glass, the magic mirror finally responded. It didn't grant his wish for water or gold. Instead, it showed Elis his own face, distorted and monstrous, surrounded by the skeletal, blackened outlines of his ruined fields, a reflection of his own destructive greed. Screaming, Elis threw the mirror down, fleeing in sheer terror. Pan rushed in and gently picked up the glass. He didn't ask it for a miracle. He only asked what he could do to help the thirsty town. The mirror's frightening image instantly cleared, showing Pan a quiet, powerful vision. His own hands, pouring his small, precious remaining water into the town's large, empty communal well, surrounded by the grateful faces of his neighbors. The mirror wasn't a shortcut to wealth. It was a pure, unyielding mirror of the soul. Following the mirror's quiet guidance, Pan brought his small, precious reserves of water and his enduring, high-quality vegetables to the town. He wasn't rich, but he had something infinitely better: resilience and integrity. As the townsfolk gratefully drank and ate, they realized that Pan's small, honest yield had provided more genuine sustenance than all of Elis's giant, failed crops put together. They had witnessed the drought, the ultimate test, prove that shortcuts lead to ruin, but hard work built a deeper foundation. The people rallied around Pan, not because he was suddenly wealthy, but because his actions had shown them the true value of community and character. With the drought finally broken, the valley entered a new season. The townsfolk, having seen the failure of greed and the triumph of integrity, rallied around Pan. They adopted his ancient, honest farming methods and worked together, sharing the bounty. Pan, looking into the magic mirror one last time, saw no gold and no giant vegetables. Instead, the glass simply showed his own face, smiling and content, surrounded by a thriving, supportive community. The mirror's magic faded, its task complete, leaving behind only a beautiful, ordinary wooden frame. Pan hung it on his wall. He finally understood the vision. The true golden grain was the rich harvest of a clear conscience and a generous spirit.